Farm 9 months ago said they would stop underwriting new home policies in the state, announced this week that they're going to basically remove 72,000 homes and apartments from the rolls when they're up for renewal. And the big reason is the wildfires and the regulatory environment in the state. About 2,300 are here in San Diego County. About 40% of them were in 4 zip codes. Rancho Santa Fe and Fairbanks Ranch, about 50% of the homeowners policies in those 2 zip codes are going to be declined here on their renewal date. 2 other areas that are impacted at a somewhat of a significant rate are both Tierra Santa and Scripps Ranch. Now, on car insurance, we saw that in March, car insurance rates nationally were up 22%. And there's a few reasons why this is the case in particular. First and foremost, there's a rising cost of car repairs for a number of reasons. There are fewer mechanics out there. There are more totaled cars because there's a lot more technology. It used to be you could replace a bumper or you could ding out a dent on a bumper. And now because of all the sensors in that bumper, you have to replace the entire bumper. EVs, while the cost of maintaining them, the fuel costs are much lower, the repair costs can be fairly high. Inflation came in a little bit hotter than anticipated at 3.5%, which was up from 3.2% in February. Now, there was an expectation that it was going to go up, but not quite this high. And this month, it really was driven by 2 things. First, it's gas prices, and second, shelter costs. These shelter costs are up 5.7%, which is a big driver of inflation. And this is a big part of what the Fed was hoping would be reduced over the last 12 months, and that hasn't really been the case. Consumers are kind of baking this into their thinking, but inflation is interesting because although inflation is still relatively low to last year, the cumulative effect of inflation from 2021 through 2023 is that people are still paying a lot more for pretty much everything across the board, even though the rate of increase has slowed down dramatically. At least in a little bit of good news, San Diego's inflation rate declined 0.2 of a point from 3.8 to 3.6%. But it mirrored pretty closely the different cost increases that we saw around the country.